SaaS platforms built with low-code and no-code tools are becoming more and more popular because, in the end, I guess, the time is money. And by using tools like Bubble, Webflow, and many other low-code and visual development tools, you're able to go to market faster, gather feedback faster, and in the end, create a better product your audience will love. That's why in this video, I'll showcase the exact $1 million SaaS tool we're building currently at Flow Ninja and give out 3 tips of which SaaS tools you can start if you're just starting out. I'm Urosh and I'm the founder and CEO of Flow Ninja. At our studio, we help businesses realize ideas better and faster by leveraging visual development tools like Webflow. Over the past years, we've helped hundreds of B2B SaaS tools create their marketing websites and even build platforms with visual tools like Webflow from the ground up. After helping dozens of companies creating a successful B2B marketing website and even building their platforms, we came to a realization: why don't we invest into our own products and create our own SaaS tools at the studio? I must say, we underestimated for what's to come. Even with all of the experience we've had in the industry, we really underestimated the amount of time, work, and effort it's gonna take in order to create a successful SaaS project which somebody's actually gonna be buying and which our team is actually gonna be proud of. So after a lot of sleepless nights and realizing that nothing in life comes quickly, and also debusting the usual YouTube myths that you're gonna become a millionaire by leveraging your own SaaS tools in the next 3 months or less, we decided to expand our time horizon, as Alex Hormozi likes to say it, and start working on something which is gonna become successful in the next 5 years. But first, let's see which was our first failure. Our first SaaS platform idea that actually failed was a Webflow marketplace for templates. And that's where we identified that if you're not passionate about something, if you don't have extensive experience inside of it, and you're not ready to spend a lot of nights and like a lot of time actually building the platform, you're probably not gonna be finishing it and you're probably not gonna be creating a good product. So that's why on my screen here, you can go ahead and see a fully working platform that we completely designed in Figma. The platform is basically offering Webflow templates to all of the Webflow community members from a different perspective. So it wouldn't be an official template marketplace, it would be a secondary template marketplace with verified templates, which we thought were cool. But we weren't passionate enough about creating the templates themselves, just because we're more of a strategy and kind of positioning agency, like when it comes to design, not just development. And that's where it actually became a little bit boring for our team to go ahead and create dozens and dozens of templates to fill in the marketplace. So that's where we realized that we jumped on the idea too soon, that the only incentive for the whole SaaS platform was, okay, this is probably gonna make a lot of money because it's still a great idea if somebody's gonna be doing this, but we weren't passionate enough to create a good enough product for people to pay. So in the end, we just ended up living in Webflow and we never decided to launch it. That's why I'm saying that you need to be passionate about something you're creating. If you're in a specific industry and you have a specific hobby, it's probably gonna be a lot easier for you to create a SaaS platform and spend 6 months or even more than that into creating the right business strategy, into creating the right user interface and stuff like that. Just because, okay, yes, creating something in Webflow is gonna be easy, it's gonna be faster than the usual route, but when you get to the first version, you're gonna identify that there are a lot of missing pieces, a lot of bugs, a lot of things you didn't think of, a lot of use cases you didn't think of. So you're gonna need to spend time iterating and creating a better product every single week, every single month, only after it's ready to go live and go to the public. So hopefully from that, you're gonna be able to learn that just don't try getting into the SaaS space and creating a no-code SaaS platform just for the money. You're gonna need to get inside of the software for the love of the game and realize it's a much bigger time horizon before you're gonna be getting any value out of it. Before jumping into showcase our SaaS tool, which we're currently working on, which is gonna be live and which we're working on for a long time, I wanna make sure that you stay until the end, where I'm gonna be giving 3 tips on which SaaS tools I would love to build if we're not building the current one, because in the end, focus is the most important thing. After the first fail attempt, we wanted to create something that even if we made $0 from it, we would still benefit from it. So that's why we decided to create a completely custom customer relationship platform, which is going to allow us to do strategy, design, development, SEO, and everything like that into a single platform and manage our team, our clients, our payments, our onboarding, and everything under a single roof. So then the time horizon could be even 2 years, just because everything we're building is currently improving our process at Flow Ninja, and we don't have to jump too soon to sell it or even raise any funding because we're able to bootstrap it on our own. So let's go ahead and figure out the discovery of why we actually wanted to create a tool like this. The why is because we've used all the project management tools there are online. Some of them are too complex, some of them are too simple, some of them offer just client onboarding, some just client payment, but none of them have everything under a single roof with a simple user experience. We wanted to create something which is built just for agency owners, like long term we're gonna be selling this just to agency owners when we do launch, but on our side we wanted to create something with a simple interface. Sometimes there are also platforms platforms which offer something like this, but the interface becomes too cluttered with features which some of the users might want to, but we don't want them, and in the end the team doesn't actually use the platform itself. That's where the idea for 6star came in, and that's how we started to develop it. What is actually 6star? It's basically a platform that our whole business runs on. It allows us to have client onboarding, client payment, client relations, so clients can see the tasks that there are for them we are working on. They can see how much time we spent, they can see the time history and like filters, they can see the team which they're working on specifically and something about the team they're working on. They can request new tasks. I can go ahead and view every single one of the clients as an admin kind of from my side and kind of manage them a lot easier, and I can see everything what our team is doing. But all of that is created in a much simpler way than the usual platforms, and it has a single use case that we're using it for our studio, for our agency. So that's why it allows us to streamline the process, and that's why we decided to build it. The most important thing when you're creating specifically a niche SaaS tool is understanding who are you building it for. In our case, it's gonna be agency owners with 20 plus team members, just because that is the point we identified on our own skin when like operations start to go a little bit sideways and like it starts costing you to have a bigger team, the team becomes less efficient. So that's where we identified that, okay, we can have an expensive product for this target group, and it's gonna be able to solve them a pretty big pain, and like it's gonna be worth for us to go ahead and spend 2 years on building something like this. In terms of how we want to attract people, that's probably like the million-dollar question for every single SaaS tool. Is like we don't have any idea how we're gonna be marketing that.
What?
But as we want to first make sure that our product is as good as possible and we have enough people interested in it, and only then start selling it, that's why we are not worried about that as much. I'm sure that we're going to be able to generate multiple 7 figures from the SaaS tool itself, but I don't want to do that now, just because I know that if we launch something straight away to a huge number of people, it's probably not going to be good enough and they're just going to be moving away. So don't try to go ahead and create your SaaS tool as soon as possible and like offer something which is not to the industry standards. So that's why we're not worrying about monetizing it at the moment. We're more in the build phase, and we know that we have a big audience on our side and enough connections in the agency world to go ahead and sell these licenses, and in the end the product is not going to be cheap, so based off of that we're going to be able to afford that. And the final thing is like in terms of conversion, we're currently working on a pricing model. There are a million different pricing models, and you can view one of our videos from Build to Grow and kind of how can you identify the proper pricing model for your business, for your agency, or for your SaaS tool. But we do plan to have some sort of a commission and a monthly maintenance that's probably going to be like a little bit more expensive than all of the other tools, because you're getting a white label client relationship platform, which is going to also in the end hopefully going to have 2 custom features specifically made for you. And in the end, like I don't think that attracting customers and converting them is going to be a huge problem, but first the product needs to be as good as possible. So that's what we're building currently, and as I've just said, I'm sure that we're going to be able to generate a lot of revenue from it. We're bootstrapping everything, so we're paying everything out of our own pockets so that we don't have investors pressuring us into launching something too soon or like adding some features which we don't need. And based off of that, I think it's going to be a huge success long term. Why I'm not scared about sharing any of this is because we have a unique perspective of how the application should be working. There's going to be competition, but in the end, if we do create something that we felt on our own skin, like by having 40 team members, it's probably going to be pretty hard for somebody to replicate, just because they need to have a 40 team member agency in order to have the same growing pains as we do and to have enough resources to create a SaaS tool like this. That's why I'm pretty comfortable in sharing what we're building, even though it's not live yet. So now for the part that everybody's waiting for, and like which are the SaaS tools I would build if I wasn't in the agency space. The first one I would build is a niche hiring platform. I don't think that there is a lot of space for people actually finding full-time roles. I mean, like on YouTube and everything like that, you see a big shift about people working freelancing and like starting their own business. But in the end, a lot of people just want a really good full-time role. A lot of companies just want a really good kind of full-time person. Based off of that, I think that many of the platforms currently for hiring are more made for freelancing, and the hiring platforms which are available currently, at least let's say in Serbia and like all over the world, are too old-fashioned. I feel like that there is a pretty big market gap in creating a niche hiring platform. So let's say the best video editors out there or whatever, and you just create a hiring platform for finding job as a video editor and hiring video editors. So I do feel like that there is a huge opportunity into creating a custom onboarding process which doesn't require CVs, because I don't think that anybody actually uses the CV to this day and age. maybe has a video proposal for the job itself or something like that. But in general, it just modernizes the job application to what we're doing currently at the studio. Is like we're not looking at CVs. This is the idea I would love to work on, and probably you can partner with some influencers and whatever to go ahead and market that to many different people. The next one is something about travel. As I'm traveling a lot and I'm seeing ChatGPT models and stuff like that, I would love if I could say, hey, I'm traveling with my girlfriend to Europe in August. Please give me some recommendations because we like maybe going to parties, going to beach and renting a boat. And then that you create a whole itinerary based on the ChatGPT model plus some of your own knowledge and serve the whole itinerary. Just because I feel like travel agencies are going out of style a little bit, but on the other side, I still don't have enough time to go ahead and research everything and to find the finest hotels like on booking.com. So I think something like with travel and creating travel itineraries, maybe even niche related, have the best Greece trip out there, and that you fill in like a big questionnaire, you use GPT models on the back end, and you create a pretty interesting platform in the end. And the final thing is like you can productize yourself. You can create a platform which is gonna deliver your services directly to the clients as easy way as possible, and that they can start working with you tomorrow. You can start identifying what do you know currently and kind of how can you create a platform which is gonna offer your services in as frictionless way as possible to the clients, that they can pay there, that they can manage, and maybe even create a client relationship platform in a different niche. We created in the web design agency world, but maybe you're gonna create a platform like this for photography or something like that, and that based off of that, you just create a better experience for working with you and for working with other studios. I do think that focus is the most important thing, and you shouldn't jump from one thing to the other to the third and just completely shift focus. At our venture studio, Flow Ventures, we're building a few really focused SaaS products currently, and we don't want to shift our focus, but there are a lot of different ideas I would love working on. So maybe some of you is passionate about some of these topics. So drop us a comment down below if you do start working on any of these SaaS platforms on your own, or if that's sparked the idea for you to create a SaaS platform similar to this. These are just some ideas I'm thinking about. Of course, they're gonna seem easy, but they're gonna be a lot harder when you do start implementing them, no matter if you're using visual development tools like Webflow or like the standard development process. But hopefully they're gonna be giving you an idea of what you can build, and you can get into the SaaS building space as soon as possible. If you wanna hear more of these stories about growing our 7-figure agency to an 8-figure venture studio, you can press the like button down below and subscribe to our YouTube channel to follow our journey.